Quite possibly one of the most common questions I'm getting asked now is, Kevin, is Social Security safe? Well, I still get my SSI or SSDI check deposited. Kevin, I'm a survivor and I rely on my benefits. Will these banking collapses impact and affect the money that I receive from the government every month? A much needed boost, stimulus that I can't live without. Well, folks, if you are in this category and are an SSA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or any other government welfare or handout recipient, and you are worried about your money, your next check, your next deposit, how the recent wave of bank failures and how the FDIC, U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, and current president have had to step in and try to salvage what's left and pick up the pieces to try and keep the economy from completely going off the rails, and the world witnessing America's economic just implosion, our economy exploding as if a bomb has been detonated, and seeing our economy just derailed. Well, folks, then stick around and stay tuned, because I have some very important information to share with you, especially if you are concerned about the economic storm and how your IRA and 401k will fare during these turbulent times. Because now more than ever, top experts are predicting now is the time to be protecting your assets with physical gold and silver. So find out why Genesis Gold Group is the #1 recommended company by your favorite YouTube channels. Receive Genesis Gold Group's free definitive gold guide today, or give them a call at 1-800-200-GOLD, 1-800-200-4653. Ask for Jonathan or David. They will take good care of you. Or check them out on their website at www.genesisgoldgroup.com. Folks, please listen closely, because what I have to share with you in this video is going to be extremely important to you, and especially if you're an SSA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or any other government welfare or handout recipient, and you're worried about your next check, your next direct deposit, and how the recent wave of bank failures and how the FDIC, U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, and current president have had to step in and try to salvage what's left and pick up the pieces to try and keep the economy from completely going off the rails, and the world witnessing America's economy derailed. Then, folks, please stick around and stay tuned, because I have some very important information to share with you, like about how Wells Fargo Bank customers and account holders saw a massive disruption in their direct deposits, leaving many without any money or resources, and instead an abundance of worry, concern, and unanswered questions. And how Bank of America and Zelle are amongst the usual suspects, as well as those who are causing harm and headache and heartache for account holders, many of whom seeing reversals and account balances falling below zero and dipping into the red. So, folks, we must be real and accept the truth, and that truth is that banks have failed in the past, and they will likely fail again in the future. The main question is, which ones will fail, how bad will it be, and will your money be tied up in it in the process? And before we all get our mark in government trackers, now being dubbed the Biden dollars, CBDC will be the next central bank that we will have to worry about and wonder about, and whether or not it too will fail. I mean, do you really want a central bank managing all of our money, seeing as how this country has been managing our debt? I'll let you guys decide. But how will this all impact you and your SSA, your SSI, your SSDI, your survivor benefits, your EBT, your SNAP, your food stamps, your PEBT, your stimulus from the government, or any other government-funded program that is relied on for the 1st or the 15th? Folks, it's called a glitch, okay? Now, let me explain to you what has happened here recently in the banking systems. For instance, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, some other banks for that matter, even smaller banks, they just don't make the news headlines like the big banks do. They experience a glitch. Now, granted, this glitch could be accidental, it could be cyber attack, it could be malware, it could be oversight, it could also be intentional, folks. Therefore, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a position to make sure that if and when the next glitch were to occur, or the next financial crisis were to occur, or the next insolvency were to occur, or the next Fed rate hike, which is almost guaranteed to happen, were to occur, that if our bank gets wiped out, we don't get wiped out, okay? Think about it like this. If you're relying on a government direct deposit, a government check going into your account, SSI, SSA, SSDI, anything from the government, think about it like this. If you were a Wells Fargo bank customer on Friday, you didn't receive a direct deposit through a banking glitch. Now, granted, that doesn't mean that Social Security has been wiped out. That doesn't mean that the supplemental security income system has been wiped out yet. Although we are on track for deficits and shortcomings and shortfalls in the future, it doesn't mean that it has been wiped out yet or even canceled by the current administration, Democrats or Republicans. What it means is that your money that you're relying on, that you're banking on, that you need, won't be available to you. Why? Because of a banking glitch. Now, granted, if there was a central bank digital currency or a CBDC and the central banks controlled all the money, then you would remove that extra link out of the chain of command here, and it would just go from whatever government entity it was directly to your central bank. Granted, they're going to track you, they're going to trace you, and they're probably going to tax you, but that's another conversation for another video at another time. In this particular situation, should you be worried about your Social Security? Absolutely. I think so. Should you be worried about your paychecks? Sure, yeah. Should you be worried about any money coming into your account or possibly necessarily needing to go out of your account to cover expenses? 100%. Why? Because banks fail. Banks have problems. Banks have glitches. Banks make mistakes. You can't argue that fact, folks. And if you'd like to, please comment down below. But folks, what do? We prepare. We plan, we prepare, and we continuously work on this and execute so that we are in the best possible situation to make sure that we don't fall victim to a glitch. Stock the supplies necessary to sustain life, folks. Therefore, if you need money on a specific date, maybe before, while you can, and you have this available to you, stock up so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you're only waiting to get paid in order to buy the supplies you need. Get them beforehand. Stockpile valuable tools. Now, these tools can come in a variety of forms. For instance, these tools could come in the way of internet. I know some people buy internet by the bundles. Therefore, if maybe you should buy that ahead of time. These tools and the internet could be used for you to go to work, earn a living, work remotely, work from home, online jobs. Tools can come in a variety, shape, or form. The tool doesn't have to actually be a physical product that you hold in your hand, or like a shovel or an axe or a screwdriver or anything like that. But whatever tools that you need to survive and sustain, perhaps maybe you should stockpile those beforehand. Grow your own food. Granted, this is easier said than done and not necessarily possible for everyone. However, if you feel as though that this is potentially going to be a huge setback for you, and you have the means to grow your own food, not to mention growing your own food means you could possibly be growing food for other people, which could put you in a position to enter into some bartering if and when we were to see a banking system collapse. Prepare to provide for yourself or do without. Again, this is all basics, part of the planning and preparation for financial hardship, economic pain, and crisis. We are in the middle of a shift, folks, and the wipeout is about to happen. But the wipeout will only wipe out those who are unprepared. Prepare to live with little or no electricity. Why? Because you didn't get your deposit like you expected. Therefore, now you can't make your payment on your utility bills, and maybe you're behind and you're on your final notice. So you have to prepare for these things to happen, because you need the money coming in, and once you get it, you'll make the payment. But if the money doesn't come in because of a banking system glitch or banking failure, or the FDIC taking control of a bank and freezing the funds, then you need to be prepared for that possible situation if it were to occur. However, strengthening your financial status could prevent a lot of these problems from happening. Therefore, you're not living paycheck to paycheck, even if this paycheck is coming from the government. Maximize liquid savings. Make a budget. Cut back on unneeded expenses. Commit to closely managing your bills. Take inventory of your non-cash assets. Pay down your credit card debt. Get a better interest rate on your credit cards if you still carry debt. Basics, folks. Learn basic skills. And these basic skills are going to be in the form of just basic survival skills, but also, in my opinion, basic financial literacy skills. Okay. Build relationships. Again, if you're growing food, it could be for you, it could be for others. With this relationship, they know who to come to in a safe and respectable manner to exchange and barter, not take. But even still, these relationships need to be strong because you want to have a relationship before S hits the F, so that you do know who's approaching you and coming to you, offering assistance or asking for help. But these relationships could also help, get you through, buy you time, bridge a gap if we were to see a disruption, which is likely. It's very likely. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying when it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's very likely. It would literally be like saying, I'm going to buy an umbrella. Well, it's not raining, but it's likely to happen, and I don't want to get wet. It's plain and simple. Prepare to share, folks. Self-explanatory. Be ready to protect your family at all costs. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Although hope is not a plan, and we can't bank on surviving on just hope and dreams either. Therefore, we need a proven method of survival and sustainability, a strategy, a technique that we are going to implement and execute as best as we possibly can. Diversity, security, cash flow. If a bank fails and you have these three principles, these three pillars that I like to call them, then odds are you're going to be fine because of your diversity, because you have created this security and you have continuous cash flows. That's going to be most important. If you guys want to know more information, by all means, feel free to contact me, reach out. Info down below, 100% free links, and also check out Genesis Gold Group at genesisgoldgroup.com.